Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Today, I'll be talking about the latest misandrist-like comments from Ebony K. Williams. But first, please share, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I really do have a few questions for you. Your opinion is interesting to me, and it matters as well. Let's talk about it. Earlier this year, Ebony K. Williams disparaged an entire class of men who she feels don't aspire to be greater than the hard-working, patriotic middle-class people that they are. Her motivation for this attack against hard-working men was that she feels it limited her choices in the mating pool. With her success and money, she didn't realize that all women take their hypergamy with them, and so has she. In all circumstances and all races, this happens to women. How you go on a class scale, the candidate pool goes down. And this is for men and women as well. That's just the nature of things, right? If you're in the upper classes, there's not as many pickings as it is if you're in the middle. I mean, that's just pure bell curve stuff, right? So it is something that men, however, are all too familiar with. Meaning a rich man, a wealthy man, a well-to-do man, he does not eliminate middle-class women from his dating and mating pool. Maybe men should be a little bit more hypergamous as well based on the marriage laws. But the point is that most men don't hesitate to look underneath them for suitable candidates to be their wives. No, Ebony's real issue is that no man in her class looks at her as a good candidate for marriage because her attitude, her demeanor, the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, she seems completely unmarriageable. There doesn't seem to be any warmth in this woman, okay? Not for what a man really wants. In other words, she wants a partner. She wants somebody she thinks she could buddy with and be equal, you know? So that's not a wife. And no high value man, quote unquote, is going to submit himself to her bullshit. Further, if all middle class men that she chooses to shit on with her diatribe were to stop working, were to stop doing their service to humanity and the community, the whole economy would stop. On the other hand, if she never subjects us to one more word of her stupid takes, and people like her, like for example, if the View was supposedly disappear, the world wouldn't skip a beat. Nobody would care. Nobody would lose any sleep, and the economy would not go backwards one bit. So now she's back at it again. This time she is reducing black men to be nothing more than sperm donors. She rejects the soul, the character, the heart, the warmth of a man, and all she wants is his seed, his sperm. That's what she wants. She doesn't want anything else to do with you but your sperm. Like you're a slave. That's what they did back in slavery days. Of course, in your hard work and your labor for free. His ability to fertilize and populate the earth is something that she wants. But instead of being worthy of a man's seed, she simply wants to buy it for her own selfish reasons and subject a child to what is that we already know is a fractured upbringing. Right? So I got like a 3-minute clip of her diatribe, and I'm gonna break it up a little bit, and maybe I have some questions, you have some questions, we could talk about it when you listen to it. I'm gonna stop it from time to time and comment. So folks, let me know whether you agree with her or you don't agree with her or you have some thoughts on the matter. That's cool. I'm not looking for agreement though. I don't care if you really think she's onto something. But I just think it's kind of despicable. So I'm gonna just stop sharing here for a second, and we're gonna hit the clip real fast. And I want you to tell me what you think. All right, here goes.
Black women
Curse,
are availing
the
ourselves
commercial might come.
all of the options
Fair
that our
use.
hard work
Fair
and
use.
circumstances currently afford us. And that means that single motherhood by choice is going to be an option that more and more Black women consider and even exercise. So, anybody that's in their feelings about that can go ahead and start to process right now. Because Black women that have the privilege to embark upon this expensive and oftentimes lengthy process will increasingly decide to forego marriages and partnerships that do not serve us and that are not in our best interests.
Let me stop it right there for a second. All right. So now I heard what she just said, and some of it, you could take with a grain of salt. Some of it may be from her perspective, worthwhile. But listen, I think only women who are not suitable for being married to men or partnered with men, even without being married, talk like this. It's sad since men and women are designed to be together. I mean, we didn't populate the earth if it wasn't a natural thing for men and women to be together. And they weren't talking about IVF either. Men and women are stroking. That's how they have kids, right? So, so does that mean folks get out of their mate that are like timed out of the mating pool? Yeah, there's some people who never have any children, both men and women, right? That's the natural order of things as well. So, but it begs the question, why is Ebony and women like her so unmarriageable, right? Or even just, from a circumstances of just being an unwed mother. No man wants to shoot up her club. No man's worthy that she wants vials of sperm from somebody unknown. That means she doesn't know a warm-blooded man in her life that she's actually just willing to let him shoot up the club. So that means that she'd rather have an anonymous donor and raise a kid by herself because she doesn't want to share a baby with a warm-blooded real person. Isn't there some psychology to that thought process? Think about it. A woman with her means doesn't want to share raising a kid with a man that she knows, whether he's in her life or just a baby's father. She'd just rather go it alone, right? I mean, think about that. I mean, the psychology of that is pretty deep. So, listen, and the other question is she suitable to raise the next generation of kids by herself? The way she thinks, what kind of kids are we going to raise if they have to be subjected to her mindset? Is that fair to say? I mean, that should be something that we talk about. Okay, she has money, so the kid might not be destitute. The kid will have food, clothing, a house to live in, probably go to the best schools, right? But is that a good message to spread? Because only 1 to 2 or 3% of women could do what she's talking about. But that's not the women who are just listening. The every average day woman who's listening to this bullshit thinks that maybe they could pull it off. And every unwed mother that I know, that are still successful, but they're in the middle class. They got there because they had parents and grandparents who were their support system. You know how many black women don't have a support system but Zaddy, bringing babies into the world with nobody to help them? Then those kids grow up in crime, a life of poverty, all kinds of shit. I mean, what is she talking about? And so she's only seeing from her level, but her message doesn't stay up there. It goes down to the rank and file person. So I'm gonna play some more of this clip, and we'll hear some more of her diatribe, and I'll come back and we'll talk about it.
And now that bypassing those insufficient relationships does not have to come at the expense of motherhood, well, frankly, it's a whole new world. A world in which Black women are no longer subject to the desperation of being chose, because now we get to do the choosing. And as we choose, we
Fair
do have to
use,
contend with
fair
the
use.
reality of a dismally small supply of Black sperm. Because most Black women on this journey, we want to create children that look like us and that look like our families. And that means we want Black sperm.
Let me stop it there again. Just a little piece. She particularly gets misleading and disingenuous. First of all, she is not a champion of having children who look like her. She had a whole relationship with at least one white man that we know about. It is rumored that she broke up with this white man because he chose to stay with his children instead of her during the 2020 pandemic. What kind of woman would ask a man to choose her over his own flesh and blood children? This goes to her character, right? So it's a damaged character. It's selfish. Second, there's no shortage of black sperm. So what she said is a blatant lie. There's what, 14, 20 million black men around. Well, I don't know how many black men are walking around with just a lot enough sperm to repopulate the entire earth. What she means is that black men are not giving their sperm away to these profit centers. And nor should we. As a matter of fact, after this video, we should boycott these centers. Men shouldn't give their sperm to anybody. This is your new liquid gold. Your sperm is your liquid gold. Let me tell you this. Those sperm centers sell your vial of sperm from $1,500 and up. But guess what? The most they give a man for donating is 150 bucks. What kind of markup is that? Fellas, this is not this is a real bad deal if you needed to sell sperm. And let's talk about what kind of man actually goes to sperm banks and sells sperm. How many 1% men are doing that? How many 5% men are doing that? These are men who need a few extra dollars. So how high are they on the IQ scale? Some of them might be, of course, doesn't have to do with money. Some of them might have high IQ, good aesthetics. They might look good, but how many men actually go to these banks so they can masturbate into a vial for 150 bucks? It's kind of besides the point, but I'm gonna get to something here. So, brothers, listen. You should absolutely refuse to give your sperm to a sperm bank. And if you do, you better get a better deal than $150, right? Because they're selling your sperm for over 1,500 bucks. And it's probably going to keep going up too. So it's not a good business deal. Now, so if a woman wants your sperm, she must be made to get it the old fashioned way, right? She should submit and deserve the benefit of your seed. She shouldn't just be able to just go say, hey, listen, man, here's a vial. I want you to go in the bathroom and here's a magazine. Just give me a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? After, listen, you're not a slave. And any misandrous whims and fantasies shouldn't make you change your mind. The ironic part of this is, how does Ebony K. Williams know, where the sperm came from? Suppose that sperm came from a bus driver, the same guys that she shit on. Well, isn't that something? Because it could very well be from a bus driver. Think about that. You think these cryo centers actually put the real bio of these men? They probably get clothes, but they don't embellish it some. Of course they do. Of course they do. It's just like any Tinder page, right? They'll embellish it. So we're gonna say we're gonna go a little bit more in this video, and I'm gonna come back with some more commentary as well. But I mean, for heaven's sakes, Ebony.
And as we heard from Reese Brooks, it's the definition of slim pickings. And sometimes that means compromising on this aspect of your journey. Now, I am extremely fortunate that I was able to secure 2 vials of black sperm from California Cryobank when I embarked on this part of my journey last fall. But I do know that I am an outlier. So I've got 2 concrete tips for single black women who think this may be an option, either now or maybe later. Number 1, please check out Reproductive Village. It's a new black owned cryobank, and it's designed to help with this shortage of black sperm. It's set to open its doors in DC later this year, and it will also have drop off locations in Atlanta and Houston, Texas. And number 2, be proactive. I say go ahead and start looking right now for desirable black sperm.
So let me let me stop that right there. And it's like Jesus, Jesus, lady, you know, she is something else. But anyway, so I got a little bit more commentary on that part. Then we're gonna finish this up. All right, we'll finish it up a little later. Anyway, listen, the unfortunate part of her promoting single motherhood to a very few elite women because of the expense of IVF and surrogacy, which does not go into uh, to her message specifically. Well, because she doesn't talk about that part of it. But a lot of women who are poor will be taking cues from her to choose single motherhood. You know, even if it's a natural even if she does it naturally, there's younger girls and saying, I just want to be a mother, right? This is a dangerous and destructive message, right? Because we already know that single motherhood has destroyed the black community in terms of one person, and whatever the reasons why the father's not around, whether she's weaponizing the kids, or whether he's just a deadbeat, or whether he's just out of the house, but he sends money in. We already know the statistics show that both boys and girls are at a disadvantage of not having both parents with them. Does that make both parents a great people for the kids and none of the kids go wayward? Of course not. But we're talking about percentages and probabilities of being able to support kids and make them grow in a natural environment of the nuclear family. It works. Civilizations have been built that way. If we look at the black communities now, we know single parenthood doesn't work. We don't need any more evidence of that. We do know that the jails are filled with prisoners from single parents. We have high school dropouts, suicide rates, you know, drug addicts, the whole 9 yards. Right. So let's not go there and say that this is a way to do business. It's not. Everybody knows it. And then the support structures in the black community and in the white communities are starting to die off because your grandmothers from the pretty much out of all the grandparents and stuff like that from the silent generation, certainly they're almost gone. The baby boomers are on their way out, right? And Gen Xers, they might say, listen, you're on your own, right? So that support system is also breaking down. So let's just finish this diatribe that I have for her. And I'm going to bring on this black conservative later on. I'm going to let you hear what he has to say because he focuses on the actual stupidity of Ebony K. Williams. But let me finish this out and put this part of it.
I
Yeah.
have, and many black women have, too much love, too many resources, and too rich of a community not to share these gifts with children of our own. Children that will one day, no doubt, enrich and contribute to the next generation of Black America.
Recently,
All right. So let me stop it right there. Listen, folks, you can imagine how entitled and self-centered any children from this person, Ebony K. Williams, would be. And folks who are her ilk if they raise kids on their own. Do you think but however, that's me talking. Now, do you think she's up onto something? How would that benefit anybody or anyone but herself, but the selfish individual? What's the benefits in this thing? Is it fair to raise children without the benefits of a father in their lives? Is it really? Really? Is the ultimate form of misandry practiced by seemingly black male hating entitled women who like spewing this kind of rhetoric, right? And so that final clip, you know I'm gonna have one more clip where this brother talks about her, and he's a black conservative, and he has his perspective, and I'm gonna just let a little bit of his thing play out, so we can hear somebody other than me another black man other than me say something about what he's hearing. Because a lot of times women hear what they want to hear, but and men just shut up and take it. So I want you guys to hear something from another black man other than just me. So I'm gonna stop sharing this, right? I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna share his clip. Okay. All right. Let me share his clip. So here goes.
that produces black men of lesser quality, at least by the standards that she has. Okay. And this is why I say that having a degree, okay, this woman has a few degrees, one from UNC Chapel Hill, the same school that I went to. It doesn't mean that you're smart, right? I mean, having a degree does not mean that you're smart. It doesn't mean that you have common sense. Okay. It just simply means that you have a piece of paper and you were able to pass some tests. Okay. It doesn't really mean much about your ability to actually, again, have common sense, come to practical solutions, to critically think, because she's clearly not critically thinking about what she's saying. Okay, this is the same woman that hates black mediocrity, right? This is why she doesn't want to date a bus driver, while also at the same time advocating for women to do things that quite literally produce mediocre results, right? If you want more good quality above average black men, then you need more traditional black households, right? You need more nuclear families. When you're telling women, hey, I don't think enough good black men are out here, you need to go become a single mother, right? Be a single mother instead. Again, you're not actually advocating for a solution that's going to produce the
There
men that
you
you
there you
want. Again, it's just, it
probably
blows my mind. It's stunning, right? It really is.
And it will also have drop off locations in Atlanta and Houston, Texas. And number two, be proactive. I say go ahead and start looking right now for desirable black sperm. Register with all four of the big cryobanks. And
This woman sound like a plantation owner, right? You know, a plantation owner, you know, they would allegedly breed black slaves to basically be better slaves. Okay. This is what she sounds like. Okay. This is borderline white supremacist talk, right? You need more desirable black sperm. Like, what? Wow. But again, everything except holding black women accountable, right? Everything except saying, hey, look, maybe, just maybe, you should pick men better. Maybe you shouldn't open your legs for Raekwon in the hood, right? And maybe you should opt for, you know, a Jim who has a, you know, good job. He's a strong man. He's a protector. He's a provider. You know, he's a man of faith. Nah, don't tell women that, okay, to pick better quality men to be in relationships with and to have children with. No, 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 don't do that, right? Don't do that. Go get a sperm donor, right? Go to a sperm bank, okay, and become a single mother. Live in poverty, struggle for the rest of your life, and be bitter because all these men out here, all these N words ain't ish, right? This is Ebony K. Williams.
Let me just end it there. He goes on for further, but I mean, just think about the stupidity of this woman, or you know what I'm saying, and the danger. You know, it's just not stupidity; it's also dangerous. It's a dangerous message, you know. And do we need that now? You know, so let me kind of end this a little bit here. You know, so finally, you know, it has to be acknowledged that Ebony K. Williams is just one of a growing number of women who are past the wall looking into, you know, manless baby procreation. Okay. Lolo Jones has a separate story, right? And most recently, Kiki Palmer used the man for his sperm, you know, so she could have a son, right? Because she had, you know, insecurities as a black, a darker black woman when she was younger. So she picked a near white looking man, curly hair, you know, to have a baby with. And so now that she has her son and the baby with the right complexion and aesthetics that she loves and wanted for herself, she has no more use for the man. So she's been disrespecting him not only from the Usher concert, but from her own concert. She's talking about how she doesn't need him. And this guy, who's lower than her economically, was moved into a house and became like a house, you know, a house daddy. You know what I'm saying? And so she has no respect for him. And this is just another way of her. Let me put it to you this way. Maybe you could understand this. If she was a black widow spider or a praying mantis, as the spider, she would have already used him as food for the baby. And if she was a praying mantis, she would have killed him and ate him. You know what I'm saying? That's what she would have done. So she keeps him around, but she's letting everybody knows that she has no regard for this man. That he's just some seed. He might as well just be seed in a vial of sperm, so she can have a baby. Now, the only reason why she might keep him around is if she wants another baby, they can have the same father. That's it. And you know what? It's better than walking around saying I got 6 kids from 6 different men. So I'll give her that. Khloe Kardashian did the same thing. Kylie Jenner did the same thing, and so has Kim. Right? They wanted their babies to be from the same man. They don't give a shit about the men. They just wanted their babies to be, no matter what they said on social media. Chloe crying, Carly in and out with this guy. They just wanted seed from the same man, which, I can't really say I hate them for that or anything. I don't hate nobody. But the point is, so listen, this is something I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on this particular issue with Ebony K. Williams. Unfortunately, you know, it's just the way it is. But this whole thing about these women who want these babies is without the man involved. It's a sad commentary for the future, and we can always delve into that. But that's just more to come to this story. Our pain, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out.